Hey, it's Jen from the Get Grounded Method. So, one question I was asked after I sent out an email is what happened after the $4.16? Like, how did I pay my bills and how did God provide? So, it's a great question. But I kind of want to back up a little bit. I had mentioned that if I had been stressing about the $4.16 and how am I going to pay the rent and how am I going to buy Christmas presents and how am I going to feed these kids and all of that, I would have stressed out. I would have ran around frantically, freaking out, trying to get money. And the reason I know this is because several months earlier in March, that's exactly what I did. And it was March of that year, and I was freaking out because I was in this position again. I was a single mom at the time, and it's tough to be a single mom of three kids financially, emotionally, all the ways. And so I frantically ran around. I launched this weird program to my email list. I tried to be a virtual assistant for about 10 minutes. I went out and started pitching businesses. It was so graspy. It was so awkward. It was so salesy. Like, it was gross. And again, no judgment on myself. I was doing what I needed to do to feed my kids. So I'd been in that position before where I was freaking out and trying to do all the things to try to make all the money happen, striving, control, freaking out. Um, I had no peace in my spirit, no rest in my spirit. And when you act out of that, it's graspy, it's panic, it's a lot of running around, honestly, like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to make things happen instead of just trusting in the Lord. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean we just sit on our bed and go, okay, Lord, I need this money and you're going to bring it to me. And we don't do anything, because that's not biblical either. We are to work and we are to go out there and work for an income to provide for our families. And at that point, I was playing both mom and dad doing that. So it's not running around striving with your head cut off trying to make it work, but it's also not sitting there doing nothing, going, oh, Lord's going to provide. I don't have to do anything. It's not that either. So what is it? It's the narrow path. It's the middle ground. Jesus talks about, the broad path leads to death. It's the narrow road we want to follow. My husband and I often talk about this when it comes to really anything we're dealing with. We don't want to swing too far left and we don't want to swing too far right. We want to follow that narrow road that Jesus calls us to follow. And so in that case, I first and foremost, and I prayed and I gave it to God. And I said, okay, Lord, right now I don't have a husband. I have made you my husband, which means you're my provider. So I trust that you're going to provide and open doors that need to be opened for me to have income coming in the house over the next few weeks. Like, you know what we need. And you're my provider, so that I trust that you're going to. And then I remember I had this side gig at the time because I wasn't coaching. I was in a place of rest not rest, but healing. That's what I was in. And so I wasn't coaching much at the time because I didn't feel like I was in a place where I could coach and give good, wise counsel in either business or life coaching. And so it just didn't feel right. So I was doing a side hustle and programming these phones. It was awesome. Like, I love doing it because I could do it at home. And what happened with this particular side hustle is that they had a rush of orders come in just before Christmas. Like, they wanted them out the door by Christmas Eve. They had a rush. And so a couple days after this happened, they messaged all of us and like, you need to come and get as many as you have time to get. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Prayed for an opportunity. Here's an opportunity. So I got a bunch of phones, sat there with my kids watching Christmas movies, programming phones. That's one major thing I did to provide an income for my kids. And then at the end of December, and this was complete surprise to me, my parents sent me a Christmas check. We had, up until that point, for several years, had a rocky relationship due to my marriage with my ex-husband. And so we were just starting to put our relationship back together and reconcile. And out of the blue, they sent me a Christmas gift that helped to cover a lot of my bills. So I would say the Lord opened those opportunities. Again, it's not manifesting, because that's not right either. That's not biblical. But it's trusting that He's going to open those doors and walking through them and saying, okay, Lord, if this door is from you, I'm going to walk through it. If it's not, please close it. So that is how I ended up getting back on my feet and getting back into coaching and providing for my kids and providing them a nice Christmas and making sure there was food on the table and able to pay the rent. It wasn't I who provided, it was the Lord opening doors for me and me walking through them from a place of peace, from a place of trust. Because the thing is, when you act from that place of peace, you're not running around frantic trying to figure it out. Because a lot of times when you are running around frantic, like you can't even see the doors the Lord's opening. You can't hear his voice because you're all up in your thoughts and emotions and you're freaking out. And so it's hard to walk through any doors. Some people, and there's been times I've been through this where there may be an open door, but I'm so paralyzed from fear or overwhelm or stress or anxiety or even depression at times where I can't walk through the door. And so releasing it, surrendering it to the Lord, trusting that he's going to provide, brings peace to my spirit. It'll bring peace to your spirit. And then you can walk in the spirit, but walk in that peaceful place and through the doors he's opening for you. Because the thing is, what if a door would have opened that wouldn't have been through him from him? Maybe a client would have come my way that wouldn't have been a good match for her or for me. And it would have led to, I don't know, financial disaster, or they would have sued me or something. Like, I don't know what could have happened. But I also know I wasn't running around like crazy trying to figure it out, which allowed me to, again, walk in peace, which meant my kids got a good mom who wasn't yelling, snapping, stressed out, exhausted, working round the clock trying to figure it out, but just trusting that God would open doors that needed to be opened. He's a good father. That's what he does. He gives good gifts to his children. Again, wasn't sitting on my bed trying to manifest, hey, I need this money, because that's not it. It's just saying, hey, Lord, I give this to you. I trust that you're my provider, and you're going to open those doors. So that is what has happened after the $4.16. If you are struggling with peace, if you're struggling with trusting the Lord, if you feel like you are overwhelmed or running around like your head's cut off, or you're paralyzed with fear, or you're struggling with depression, like I get it. I've been there several times. And I'm here for you. All you have to do is book a call. We'll pray together, and we'll see how the Lord wants to lead you through this. That is the work I do as a Christian life coach, and I sure would love to help you get on your pathway to peace by getting grounded in him and in his word and in prayer. So feel free to book a call, and let's get started on that.